Hello, today. The topic for today is, well, for those who know me, I'm Maurice F. Harris, and I'm starting these videos about the vegan lifestyle. Well, it's not because it's not a diet, but I said when I start making these videos, it's going to be um, about well, today inspiration. And when I have inspiration, I said I will make one. And I'm using my life as this thing goes on about my life as inspiration about what what I want to do, and I'm going to come out with these as I can, hopefully once a week. But what I found is now I'm sure it might be some out there, but for somebody in my particular category, I don't think there is because I haven't seen anyone that was in my age or uh, part of life, if that's what you want to call it. Anyway, um, what I want to do today is talk about how do you start something like this after you've done your research, after you've wanted to embark on this endeavor, what what you should do. Now, my motivation, you have that motivation to do something, was these pills, and I have, I don't know what this one was, clibobenzaprine for something. Then I had coloxifrol, and this is no, yeah, cyanocobalamin. I think that was a vitamin or something. And yeah, I know what this is, gabapentin, a nerve blocker. And this one is a bigger version of that, gabapentin. And the other one I think was Flexerol. Okay, I was born a pretty normal person and eating meat and dairy my whole life, and not really giving a thought to that. Um, from that point, I like most Americans on the North, what I decided to call now the North American diet is just went kind of more control. I was pretty much in health, had a few issues, nothing major, no surgeries, no anything, out of the ordinary. I would say, joined the military, went on, and then once I started having these problems, and sometimes you might liken these problems to old age, but I was only like 35, and I started having back problems, and then I started having high blood pressure. Then I started becoming pre-diabetic, and not a fat person at all. I don't know if you can see from these clothes, but the most I've weighed when I got to my worst point before they got ready for surgery on me was 185. I remember that. But that was with clothes on, so I probably was at least 180. Clothes, give or take, weigh 5 pounds. But anyway, I have a bad habit of rambling. Um, got on these medications, just got sick of it. Not a pill taker. And with all medications come side effects. The side effects are horrendous. because not only did I start having two of the major killers, um, the high blood pressure, the pre-diabetic, couldn't sleep, not well, and also was ending toward the end of my career in the military, and I felt cheated in a way because I felt like I suffered for 20 years in the military. Now I'm getting out and I'm free to do what I want to do, and now I'm laden with all these health problems. And then if I come and think about it, when I was a young soldier, I would see a lot of older people, E7s and above, getting out, massive health problems. Of course, some were smokers, some were drinkers, some was, I want to say, I was going to say self-inflicted, but when you smoke and drink and eat dairy and meat, that's self-inflicted. You don't think about that. But like I said, I kind of got introduced to this in 2010 by a soldier, and I didn't pay that much attention to it, but I could see that he had some definitely health benefits, loss of weight, etc. So from that point, I went to dive into this stuff when I got toward the very end of my military career. Now, fast forward, I've been through the light, I've been doing this for a year and a half, and I've done my research. I've read about it. I've read studies about it. Um, when you go through certain doctors, I can't think of his name right now. This stuff has been known about for a pretty long time. It's not quackery. It's not um, something that people want to make it out to be something crazy. It's not. It's very science based, very very normal. But what I wanted to talk about was once you start this, once you've done some type of research, if you're ready to start, you're ready to do it. First thing I would say is don't throw away your food unless you can afford it. If you can't eat it, might sound crazy, but if you have a lot of food, now I'm single for obvious reasons, I can do what I want to do. But if you got kids and stuff, you know, I'm being honest here. I feel like veganism is something you can start. Maybe this isn't, later in life. I'm not saying you should, but from a military standpoint, with the amount of calories that you burn, I feel like it's a doable thing. But I don't recommend it by any means. But what I'm saying is, when you're in the military, you eat what you're given. You don't have a luxury of going out to get something, you know. And that's why I try to be very careful and choose my words very carefully when I give out advice to people. Or, but that's why I say this is what has worked for me. It may not work for you, but in the military, you got to eat what you're given. So that's something that really doesn't apply to you. But once you get out and you want to embark on this, and you're buying your own food and had control over your own food, okay, then you go and me personally, I extinguished the bacon and stuff that I had. I did. I paid too much money for it. It was $10, $15. I ate it. So whatever, sue me. But it doesn't matter really how you start; it's how you finish. All right. So for people who aren't rich like me, I'm gonna eat the food you got. Eat it sparingly, I guess, or freeze it or whatever. And then, but if you feel like you can, if you so feel, if you so choose, I like to be balanced when I get out information, and I like to be even-handed. I feel like being vegan for some people initially is a luxury, but you have to think about what you get out on the back end. Health is what you get out. Less doctor visits, less time being sick, more time enjoying your life, and stuff. Um, that's how you look at it. It's an investment. So, and it will not be done. I repeat, it will not be done in a quick fashion. If you think you're gonna become a vegan today and it's gonna, you're gonna stay that way, no, you will fail. If you start on this vegan quest or lifestyle, not diet, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. This is not a diet. I'm saying it twice. It's a lifestyle. You start on this, be prepared for fail. Build in relapse or build in going out with friends or drinking one night and you eat meat like a bicycle. You fall off, you get back up the next day, you start back. Because this has to take